This is Grant.
And this is Allie. We are about to enter Windsor High School as part of a freshman class of 500 students.
And this is our story of how we eventually became friends. This sucks. Grant, let me do it. This is how we became friends.
I took the normal route to high school, coming out of the middle school. I was looking forward to high school mostly because it was no longer 8th grade. If you think I am done with high school as a senior who knows where he is going to college, middle school was far worse.
I came from Cali, a tiny school with a graduating class of around 60 students. I couldn't wait to get out of Cali and finally meet new people.
We did not start out by meeting each other, though.
On the first day of school, I ended up hanging out with a big group of sophomores, thinking that made me cool. They were all pretty nerdy, but we found common ground.
Going into high school, and for the first month or so, all of my friends were from the middle school, most of them related to soccer. However, as the months wore on, I met more people from classes, though none were as close as that core group.
The hobbies you find in freshman year sometimes stick with you throughout your whole life. I spent most of my time at the town green drinking Starbucks. But eventually, some friends introduced me to debate, one of the best things I had ever done.
I mentioned soccer, and that's where I spent most of my time when not doing homework. On weekends, you could find me blowing items of various sizes and shapes to pieces with homemade fireworks.
Looking back at freshman year, it sucked. However, we had made steps towards becoming who we are today.
Our first invite to a high school party shows the differences still between us.
I made some regrettable decisions sophomore year. I thought it was more important to listen to loud music around a bonfire than to pay attention in class. All the time I could have been studying was spent gossiping, shopping, and getting myself into trouble.
On the opposite end of the spectrum was me. I was stuck living in a stressed mind that could not comprehend the company of people I did not know. This was the worst part of high school, when I was close to depression and living with anxiety. Needless to say, I rejected my invite.
In case it wasn't obvious, being in class wasn't that much different than being out of class. Unless we were having an in-class debate or I was given the opportunity to argue with anyone, I probably wasn't paying much attention, though I did learn the fine art of BSing.
I, on the other hand, was exceptionally studious. I was still caught up in thinking that all of the schoolwork I had to do was vitally important, and therefore would get angry at peers talking in class. One can imagine the stress this invoked when in luminescent honors.
Sophomore year was finally coming to an end, meaning I finally got to be an upperclassman.
What? Junior year meant that I could learn something I actually care about.
Well, it meant choosing a core for both of us. I was looking forward to lots of projects and little homework, meaning I could focus on some other things. This led to my choice of STEM.
Ever since I heard of the core in 8th grade from my dad, I knew it was the core I wanted to join.
This was one of the first decisions we made that would eventually bring us together.
When we walked into STEM and realized on the first day that we were going to be building a pinball machine, we were both stoked.
I was ready to play with some power tools, and as the least shy junior girl, ready to boss some guys around.
This seemed far better than normal school, and because I said that one of my skills was staying organized, I found myself as the leader of my group.
One of my best friends, Claire, convinced me to take AP Chem with them. I was mildly interested in playing with some chemicals, hehehe.
It was through the mutual friend of Claire that we finally met each other. We found ourselves working together on several labs and noticed our mutual enjoyment of chemical explosions, and near the end of the year, a lack of caring.
Finally, I was realizing that school did in fact matter.
Wow, it's about time.
Let me finish. I was finally realizing that I had an applicable skill, public speaking. My success in debate taught me that if you work hard enough at something that you are passionate about, you can achieve anything you want.
My success in math and science classes confirmed and helped me decide on a career path in engineering. Also, all of the stressful BS from sophomore year had helped me discover who I was, and therefore I was more sure of this decision than any other in my life.
To sum up junior year.
Well, if you take the average happiness rating and multiply it by the coefficient of friendship, you can calculate...
Grant, no math right now. This is for our English final.
Okay. At the end of the year, we had made progress to becoming the friends we are today.
On the first day of senior year, I walked in like I owned the place.
I was just excited to build something.
Over summer, I built a gun knife fire-powered chocolate-dipped strawberry making machine.
I built a miniature machine that made pendulum art, and a big machine that did the same. Big enough to do a pull-up on the pendulum stand. We had obviously both grown confident in our STEM skills.
Finally, I realized how much freshman and sophomore year really mattered. As I applied to college, I realized that my grades from those years limited my chances of getting into school of choice. I was afraid of what I thought would be inevitable rejections.
My largest fear and issue when applying to schools was figuring out where. How am I supposed to know where I want to live for all of college right now? What schools have the programs I want and can get into? It was for this that I only ended up applying to 3.
There were some awesome parts of senior year. We spent time with our closest friends every day at lunch. We had taken this giant group of 500 unknown people and found the 10 or so that we loved the most. Grant, don't eat Connor. Put him back.
Allie and I have been especially close for a few other reasons. She is my first choice for English project partners, and we have both accepted our loves of fire.
Finally, we made it through our senior year and figured out where we were going to college.
As a result, however, all the work we were doing felt like it mattered a bit less.
In other words, we had been officially diagnosed with senioritis.
It was so bad that I did not care if I got a B in a few classes.
Yeah, you could say that.
Now we have reached the sad time of saying goodbye, but high school has been helpful. I discovered who I am through tests and procedures in the laboratory of high school. I walk confidently into the future, with only a few sad glances at the places and people I leave behind.
In the past 4 years, I have learned about who I am going to become. Life is not about being the most popular or driving the biggest truck. It's about feeling accomplished with what you do in life and keeping your eyes on the prize.
Wow, Allie. 4 years of debate and that's all you can give us?
Oh, really? Is that a tear, Grant? You crying over an English project?
What? No, shut up, Allie. Oh, wait. We should probably stop recording.